Well, I was a Northeast Arkansas musician who migrated to Memphis like almost everyone did back in the late 50s and early 60s. And I had a band in college, and we came over here and did some studio work. And back in those days, it wasn't an album-oriented business. If you got a good song, some record label might pick it up and put it out, and we cut an instrumental. Instrumentals were big. The record is Tarantula, and the name of our band was the Tarantulas. And a guy named Jerry Wexler, who was #2 man in Atlantic Records, came into Memphis and walked in this little studio down on South Main and in Memphis and said, "Let me hear what you got." And they played him our song, and he said, "I'll buy it." We put that record out, and Wexler said it's going to be a hit. Just so happened that he put on one of his smaller affiliate labels at the same time they put out a record called Last Night by the Marquis, and it blew our ass plumb out of town. I met Bill Black and did a show or two with him, and then I came to Memphis, moved in over here, and Bill Black was tired of being on the road and wanted to get off the road, and he asked me if I wanted to take over his band, be band leader. And so I took it over, and once I took it over, I pushed it hard. I was working in a booking agency, and not too long after I took it over, we got a call from our manager who was in New York and said, "I got this tour for you guys, group called the Beatles. This is in 1964. And I said, "Who the hell are the Beatles?" He said, "Well, they're hot. They're going to be hot." I said, "Okay." He said, "It's going to be big. You're going to play stadiums and things. Congratulations, you're the opening act on the 1964 North American Beatle Tour." We opened the show with 3 or 4 instrumentals, which excited no one. And then the Righteous Brothers came out as the first singing act, and they had out a record called Little Latin Loopy Loo. They hadn't had any big hits yet. That was it. And Jackie DeShannon, she did 2 or 3 songs, I don't even remember them, but just some standards. And then they had a vocal group called the Exciters, and they had 1 hit record, so that qualified them. So there was our show. Then the Beatles came out, and I can assure you no one heard them. We had no sound reinforcement in '64. Nothing. The house sound. You say something, and in about 3 seconds you'll come back and you'll hear it. But they were screaming so loud. Nobody could have heard. I hate to bring this to your attention, but most of the time they played Monopoly. They had a Monopoly set with British properties on it. They played that damn Monopoly set most of the nights. They ventured out a little when they were in Hollywood. We were in Hollywood for 2 or 3 days. They went to a couple of clubs. Somebody shot the picture. We're both playing guitar, and George looks at me like I'm really hitting something fancy. But it had to be some chick over to my left or something with her skirt up above her knees or something. It wouldn't have been my guitar playing. He didn't open up to, he was very quiet and reserved. I may have pissed him off, I don't know. I know we were in Florida. We had flown down, we were going to play the Gator Bowl. We'd flown on down to Key West because there was a storm had come in. We were waiting, resting down there for a day. We were at a motel, and they had a lounge, and there were drums and piano and all that. And everybody was in there, and Lennon, McCartney, and Ringo was on drums. And I said, I want to get up and sing one with you guys. Hell, let's cut out on a little Memphis. Ringo went into some kind of a damn tom-tom deal, like we're in Africa. And I don't remember who was playing what, but it was bad, and my singing didn't pick it up much. When we got through, I said, this is the sorriest damn band I've ever sung with. And they said, well, you're not real high on our list of vocalists either. So. Because the DJs would come out and say, are you here to hear the Beatles? Yeah. John, Paul, Ringo, George, yeah. Well, here's the Bill Black combo. And God, that's like throwing meat to a tiger or something. Finally, I said, I'm gonna straighten this shit out. So I got on the mic and I said, look, this show has 5 acts. The first 4 acts on the show, the Beatles specifically selected them so you'd have a complete different kind of music show and so on. And if you jump in here with us and treat us right, they're gonna give you an extra special dose. And they bought that shit. Except when we were in New York, we were playing at it was a tennis center where they had tennis tournaments and stuff. And when the Ratchet Brothers came out and were singing, the local TV photographer were shooting pictures of the audience for what they call cutaways to use in there. Well, Bobby Hatfield got so damn mad because the audience was waving. He came off of the stage, went down, got one of the photographers, and got him by the tie and started choking him, and walked him all the way out to the side. When he came back on, then they started singing some more. When I got off and went backstage, the Ratchet Brothers were having it out with the tour directors, and they said, fuck you, we quit. Just like that. And I said, wait a minute, hold it. So I was pretty tight with them by then. I said, listen, you guys, I said, this is the biggest tour in the history of show business. You walk out on it now, you're finished. You're finished. Fuck, we don't care, we ain't taking this shit. We got a chance to be on a TV show in California, and we're gonna go back there and we're gonna cut some more records. Well, hell, they went back to California, and I don't know if it was Shindig or whatever. They cut You've Lost That Lovin' Feeling, which turned out to be the most played record in the history. And when I saw them a year or 2 later, when they played down at Ole Miss, I went down there to see them and visit with them. And they said, Tucker, we're sure glad we didn't take your advice. But when we went to England, we were it was a package show like the Beatles thought theirs should be. And we were on there with the Yardbirds and the Kinks and about 8 or 10 acts. We were over there for a month, and the bottom line was, back then in '64, there was an agreement between the 2 governments and the union, musician union, each government, that when a group comes over here to America, another group has to go to England. And we were officially exchanged for the Beatles. It was the greatest imbalance of trade in the history of the United States.